Hello, and thank you for joining us today for our webcast, Encase and Demisto, Streamlining Incident Response. My name is JJ Cranford with Guidance Software, and I'll be your host and moderator for this session. In this webinar, we will be discussing how Encase Endpoint Security, the market-leading EDR tool, will help InfoSec teams detect sophisticated threats in their environments, and then enable those teams to respond definitively with forensic-grade remediation. By leveraging our new guidance integration with tech partner Demisto, security teams can orchestrate incident response across the many security products used, which will automate time-consuming manual labor. Joining us to present on these topics today, we have Rishi Bhargava and Paul Shomo. Rishi is the co-founder and VP of Marketing for Demisto, a cybersecurity startup with the mission to make security operations faster, leaner, and smarter. Prior to founding Demisto, Rishi was Vice President and General Manager of the Software-Defined Data Center Group at Intel Security. A visionary and technology enthusiast, he was responsible for delivering Intel-integrated security solutions for data centers. Before Intel, Rishi was Vice President of Product Management for Data Center and Server Security Products at McAfee, now part of Intel Security. As an entrepreneur at McAfee, he launched multiple security products to establish McAfee leadership in risk and compliance, virtualization, and cloud security. Rishi joined McAfee by way of acquisition of SolidCore in 2009. At SolidCore, he was responsible for product management and strategy. As one of the early employees and members of the leadership team, he was instrumental in defining the company's product strategy and growing the business. I'll let Paul detail his bio a little bit more when he presents, but Paul is the Senior Technical Manager of Strategic Partnerships at Guidance Software, as well as a frequent contributor to Dark Reading. So before we get right into it, just a few housekeeping items. We have our Encase Endpoint Security product brief freely available in this webcast, which provides details on our product offering for endpoint detection and response. It can be downloaded using the resource widget at the bottom of your screen. And Demisto also has an overview document available for download in the same resource widget. As always, we appreciate any and all feedback on our webinars. We ask attendees to complete the survey that is populated in this webcast, so we can continue to provide the kind of content our viewers will appreciate and find useful. At the end of this webcast, we will have a question and answer session. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit those questions electronically using the Q&A window on your screen. And Rishi and Paul will address as many questions as time permits at the end of the webcast. For any unanswered questions, guidance can be contacted at experts@guide.com, through our website, guidancesoftware.com, or by calling 866-229-9199, and Demisto can be contacted at info@demisto.com. For those of you unfamiliar with Guidance Software, we're the makers of the Encase product line, and we invented the space of digital investigations in the late 90s. We brought the first incident response product to market in 2006, and we've continued innovating in the market by leveraging forensic level visibility and control to solve for problems for which such visibility is critical for incident responders and cybersecurity professionals globally. And now with that, I would like to turn it over to our presenters.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rishi Bhargava, and I'm co-founder for Demisto. We're going to share a quick overview about Demisto's incident response platform today, and then we'll dig deeper into a demo of Demisto and Guidance integration. So before we jump into the Demisto and Guidance integration, a quick word about
I don't have volume on my side.
As we hear from our customers, there are few different SOC challenges that we help solve. One is the fact that there is a large number of alerts coming in from SIEM and other security tools. At the same time, the shortage of skilled analysts to be able to resolve these incidents, or a lot of work and time from the skilled analyst goes into working on repetitive tasks. Also, a lot of times we see with our customers that the incident response processes are not clearly defined. The entire process is run over email, so there is no structured case management system. And last but not the least, because of all the manual steps that are there for incident response and investigation, there is very high mean time to resolution and high risk for the entire incident. So what does Demisto deliver? Demisto's promise is to give a happier analyst and better security operations. We think Demisto's vision is to be the connecting fabric for your entire security infrastructure and teams. There are three core capabilities or pillars in Demisto. One is automation and orchestration, and we're going to see a live demonstration of how we build an automation playbook with Demisto and guidance integration. The second piece is consistent incident response processes. We have a full incident case management system built into Demisto, which helps you track incidents, track SLAs, assign incidents to different people in the team, and measure all the metrics around mean time to resolution and response. Last but not the least, the way Demisto's platform is built is we enable collaboration among different analysts, among different teams within an organization. And the dbot, which is a chatbot, helps you also with the interactive investigation, being able to interactively investigate, trigger different commands across security products as you do your investigation. So those are the three key pillars in Demisto. A little bit dig deeper on the product. We integrate with 100 plus security products at this point of time. New integrations could be built right within the platform with a very powerful and simple SDK. Among these 100 different integrations that we have, there are almost 400 plus security actions. For example, actions with guidance could include triggering a custom job, triggering a snapshot of a system. And the threat feed actions could look like going checking a hash reputation with VirusTotal or any other threat feed of your choice. In addition, the dbot ChatOps capability helps you interactively investigate across your toolset. Dbot also learns over time and starts to suggest analysts back on what could be the next steps in an investigation. We have multiple customer case studies, and we are happy to share more details at a future time if required. In addition, we have a very, very large community of incident response analysts. This community is built over Slack, 1,200 plus security analysts in the community sharing playbooks, sharing automations. All of our automations, integrations, and playbooks are open sourced. And we have a very, very well-defined format called COPS, which is where we build our playbooks. It is a YAML-based format, which people can review and actually export the playbooks out to be used elsewhere as well. Feel free to join the community at this particular URL, www.demisto.com/community. So let's jump into the guidance integration. And this is a quick snapshot before we jump into a live demo. As I mentioned, in the guidance integration, we are able to use guidance strong API to trigger different types of jobs from within the Demisto's playbooks. The Demisto's playbooks are an automated way of doing things across different toolset. We are able to do deep analysis of incident across different security products, including threat feeds, endpoint products like guidance, network products, whether it's a firewall, an IPS, a packet capture tool. And it's very, very easy to extend the entire guidance integration with building your custom jobs within the guidance console and then triggering those custom jobs from within Demisto's playbooks. With that, let's jump into the live demonstration.
Okay, so this is the Demisto console. The few big pieces that I want to go through before we jump into a Demisto guidance playbook. This is the dashboard for all Demisto incidents, giving you a quick view of how many new incidents were created, were there pending incidents that came in, were there late incidents that are running, SLAs of incidents that is about to end. All of that information right in a glance, including all the incident metrics, mean time to resolution, and also metrics around the top closing analysts across the organization if there are unassigned incidents. All of that in a quick glance. This dashboard is customizable. You can look at the data from last 6 months, a custom date, last 30 days, and so on and so forth. All of the incidents that come in could be assigned to a certain person, could have a type. The entire incident object is customizable. For example, if you would want to see incidents that are owned by Rishi, that's me, high severity incidents, and incidents of type IOC hunt. These are all the incidents owned by Rishi, and some of them are open, some of them are closed, and different fields. These fields, again, as I mentioned, could be customized. Maybe you have a line of business field, maybe you have a phase. This is all customizable. Each incident type is associated with the playbook. We ship out of the box with numerous playbooks. Today, we're going to focus on the endpoint alert investigation playbook, which is a playbook that we have created working with guidance team to use guidance Encase as one of the tools for deeper investigation. So let's look into this playbook and see what is there, and we will actually show you how to even edit and customize the playbook. So the playbook starts with the playbook trigger, which is type of an incident, and it could be an endpoint investigation. Then it goes in and gets into the investigation stage. The first step that the playbook has is guidance Encase available? Some basics around the playbook. The lightning sign right here shows that this particular step in the playbook is automated, which is Demisto's system or dbot will run the step. There could be manual steps in the playbook, which basically means an analyst has to complete, for example, approval steps. For example, you might do make a decision by looking at certain data and decide for the playbook. So there could be manual step as well, and we'll get further down in the playbook. So first step is guidance available or not? And in case guidance is available, then we take a different path. In case guidance is not available, the playbook takes a totally different path as well. If the guidance is available, we go first thing, the endpoint alert comes in with a hash. We actually can check if the hash is malicious using different pieces. Here we have a script called check hash, which basically goes across different threat feeds and checks for the reputation internally built in. And we integrate with multiple threat feeds like VirusTotal, IBM Exports Exchange, Threat Exchange from Facebook, and numerous others that can all be configured in the system. In case the hash is malicious, we actually take a more onerous path and collect all the forensics evidence. In case it's not, we take a lightweight path where we are only taking a volatile snapshot of guidance for using guidance of the system. So let's say the yes path, if the hash is found to be malicious, we want to dig deeper. We want to go look at the registry and see if there are any signs of persistence in the registry. This particular step is done by triggering a custom job that has been created in guidance, and we'll show the results of that custom job in a little while when guidance team and Paul do the demo. But this is a custom job for looking at the registry. Then the next step is take the volatile data snapshot and raise the severity incident to be high. Now, at this point of time, maybe you actually want to do a forensics memory collection. So maybe one of the steps that you want to add here is indeed insert a step, which is take the guidance memory forensics. So very easy to do. You can go here to a new task, and you see guidance as one of the product available here. You just take the copy job, and you actually say the job name, whatever is the job name in the guidance console. In our case, it's memory acquisition, and you provide the job name, and this is the script that is going to run, and you just say okay. And at this point of time, we have added the script right here. So let's get this particular task connected. So we go here and we connect one of the tasks here, and the next step goes here. It looks a little funky. How about we realign it? We click that realign button, and the entire playbooks get arranged. So very easy. And maybe you don't want to call the task name as Encase copy job. You want to say acquire forensics image, and that's what you want to call. So this is how you add automated tasks very easily from any of the supported actions here from guidance. They could be manual tasks. So continuing, this playbook then continues, raises the severity of the incident to high in Demisto system, gets into the response phase. Now, at this point of time, the next stage could be check and notify people on different medium. So we integrate with a lot of different notification systems like Slack, Twilio for SMS, PagerDuty, email. You could use one or many of those. Here we have configured the system to say, is Slack available? And if yes, Slack is available, then you go notify the team on Slack. And if Slack is not available, you just fall through to the next step. If Twilio is available, then we use Twilio to send SMS alert to the person on duty. If not, we just send an email to the IR team leader about this incident and move on. And then comes the remediation phase. Here is where the remediation starts. You, as an analyst, now have all the information, have done the guidance snapshot, and you can start to review that information. We already saved you a ton of time before you even start looking at the information by collecting the right information, by triggering multiple different tasks in guidance. So the first step, and you notice this is a manual step, is to go review the information in guidance console. Here is where we switch back to the guidance console, and we are able to go look at all the information in guidance, which we'll come back to that later, all the tasks that were run. And you could come back and complete this task in a real-time run. Some of the other steps, like you could actually go look at all the information and say whether there was sensitive data leaked, again, a manual task that could be there, interleaved. You can actually set this task up to notify a PR team automatically as an email. And then we go to the remediate section, where an example of remediation that we use here is using Checkpoint. We integrate with numerous network technologies and endpoint technologies. To remediate, if Checkpoint is available, you can take the connection IP and ban it. You can actually go ahead and create a Jira ticket and close the investigation out. So this is a complete follow through of an entire playbook, which could be triggered when an incident comes in from your SIM or any other endpoint system like an EPO or manually created by a user. With that, let us switch back to guidance console and review each of these tasks being triggered and completed, so that we can review the entire integration end to end and how this is triggered into the guidance console and how the information flows in. Over to Paul. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paul Shomo. I'm the Senior Technical Manager of Strategic Partnerships. I'm also a dark reading contributor. And I have an R&D background, which is really a coincidence that I'm getting to do this webinar with Demisto, because when I started with guidance software back in 2006 in a new product research group, we were kind of working on something that was the granddaddy or forerunner of these new next generation orchestration and automation products, which Demisto is certainly one of the leading ones. Back then we were ingesting ArcSight and snort events and automating forensic response to them. So I'm very excited to be doing this with Rishi. So guidance software, we are the leaders in security forensics. We have a forensic security stack that allows us to see all the different stages of the cyber kill chain. We can see the full breach, because everything an attacker does, everything users and applications or malware do leaves behind forensic residue. And today I'm going to be talking about our Encase endpoint security product, which is in the market that Gartner refers to as the endpoint detection and response market. And Gartner actually named us the leading EDR vendor with a 25% share of all the endpoints that have products in this space. Coincidentally, a couple years ago, they also named us in their 2015 report the market share leader. So we've been on top of this market for a long time. This is Encase endpoint security, and this dashboard is a good way to contrast the difference between a real detection and response product versus the antivirus products of old or the endpoint protection products that are attempting to replace antivirus. So those type of products look for known commodity malware and variations of those types of known malware. Whereas a detection and response product such as ours, we're looking for a security breach. We're looking to see if targeted attackers have compromised your network and they're moving towards or have already accessed your sensitive data, and we allow you to cut them off with our targeted remediation. Now, typically, the way our product is most commonly used is to respond to alerts that have been seen in your SOC. We are able to ingest security alerts from probably about 10 different SIM or intrusion detection systems. And certainly with our partnership with Demisto, that goes up dramatically because we're leveraging their full ecosystem of products, as well as allowing granular response activities to be automated through Demisto's playbooks. And our product, as I'm going to go through ways that you can use our detection and response capabilities to look for targeted breaches, we also allow preservation of data through forensic images, grabbing forensic images of RAM so they can be used with volatility, and doing a variety of registry forensics techniques, and I'm not going to go into too much detail here. So we do use IOCs and signatures, as well as we look for advanced malware using static binary analysis techniques such as Yara rules and Yara scans. We also look for advanced malware through analytics techniques that allows us to look for security outliers or statistical outliers on your network, or anomalous processes and binaries that have never been seen before, as well as to pull from our rich database of analytics data to see where this malware has moved laterally and what machines it's running on. Additionally, it's quite common in a breach that once your endpoints are owned, that the bad actors will escalate privileges and take control of user accounts and use those to move laterally and access your data. So being able to investigate what potentially rogue user accounts are doing, which machines they're accessing, what they're running, is extremely valuable in determining if this is a real breach and cutting off attackers. And of course, the real goal is to avoid bad actors from accessing your sensitive data and exfiltrating it. So getting a good map of where network communications are going to, and then being able to, once you've found malware, once you've found rogue user accounts, to do target remediation and cut them off before your data is exfiltrated, is really what Encase.
Okay, great. Thanks again to our presenters. That was excellent. So to summarize what Rishi and Paul covered, it's becoming more and more clear that EPP or next-gen endpoint protection tools are not enough. Attackers are taking those tools into account in their breach attempts, and even the best preventative tools out there at best stop up to 99% of threats. And so that leads to the need for IR teams to have complete visibility into all stages of a security breach, including malware and user activity, which we provide with our forensic security suite of products, specifically Encase Endpoint Security, our EDR offering that Paul dived into a little bit. Thorough, complete, and timely remediation is key to incident response. And through Demisto, implemented playbooks will streamline IR processes by automating those routine security tasks. And really the big takeaway to all this, or the big thing to remember, is that IR teams are already incredibly burdened by alert volume and a lack of qualified incident responders in the market. So if your IR team is less burdened by cumbersome IR tasks, your qualified incident responders are spending more time focusing on the complex security issues that require their attention, which in turn is going to save your organization time and money. So at this time, we'll transition to the Q&A. So if you have any questions for either Rishi or Paul, please send those to us using the Q&A window at the bottom of your screen. So we've had a few questions come in already. The first one is for Paul. Paul, what version of Guidance's platform do I need to work with for this integration?
Yeah, so the 5X version of our platform will work with Demisto. Our latest 5X version that we've just released, we've been testing with to ensure. But any of our 5X platform that has the API that we've been releasing for the past year that Demisto integrated with will work.
Okay, perfect. And for Rishi, how can viewers of this webinar get a free edition of the Demisto solution?
Yes, the Demisto actually has a free edition which has full capacity, all integrations, all the pieces in there. It's available from our website. If you go to the website, there is a free edition download request, and that's available to the users and viewers of the webinar.
Okay, thanks, Rishi. Paul, one more question for you. When would you recommend evidence preservation in the IR process?
Sure. So if you're going to take a forensic image of a hard drive, obviously that's a pretty big amount of data to be moving around, as well as even with memory, you're moving around many gigs of data. So I would probably wait until you've triaged your security alert, you feel like it's a real incident before you do that. I wouldn't necessarily automate that right off the bat. The nice thing about what you can do with Demisto playbooks with our product is you can have these kind of decision trees, as Rishi showed, where you start to do a light triage, and then depending on what you find, it can get escalated towards deeper investigations, towards remediation, and things like preservation.
Thanks, Paul. One more for Paul. You mentioned targeted remediation. What does that entail?
So endpoint security is able to wipe out binary files on your endpoints by doing a full forensic wipe. We are literally going underneath the file system. Our code actually doesn't even rely on Windows. We reverse engineer the file system and make sure we're able to see all files, whether deleted or not. And when we delete files, we don't just let the file system flag them that they're deleted. We do what's called a full forensic grade wipe, where we overwrite all the malicious code so that it is truly gone from your hard drive and can't even be recovered forensically. We also kill processes and allow you to delete or reset registry keys. So our remediation is a good way that you can feel confident that you've totally wiped out malware on your endpoint without having to take down servers or mission-critical workstations.
Thanks, Paul. One more for Rishi. The question is, in successful Demisto implementations, how much time or effort is required to maintain Demisto? For example, are there full-time employees dedicated to keeping Demisto running after you build the playbooks?
Great question, actually. So in the implementations that we have seen so far, playbook creation is actually where the team engages and spends the time, because this is almost defining the process on how they want to investigate and solve. The ongoing maintenance of Demisto, including integrations of other pieces, is actually definitely not a full-time employee job. In fact, I think one of the things we kept in mind throughout the architecture is ease of install. It's a very, very self-contained installer running on Linux, no external databases needed, no external infrastructure needed. Also, the integrations ongoing upkeep is extremely simple, because if you look at the way things integrate, it's using the API. So once credentials are set, it's extremely straightforward and lightweight on the teams.
Okay, thanks, Rishi. So I think that will do it for our Q&A session. So to wrap things up, thank you for taking the time to listen to this webinar. We hope you found it a helpful and informative experience. Once again, please don't forget to provide us with your feedback on today's webcast using the survey that's populated in your screen. Also, feel free to download the available resources in today's webinar that we have provided in the resource widget. For more information on the topics discussed today, or to speak with Guidance Software or Demisto, we invite you to reach out to our solution specialist through one of the following on the screen. Demisto can be contacted at info@demisto.com. Guidance can be contacted at experts@guide.com, or through our website, guidancesoftware.com. Thank you.